baby. Hey, welcome to the #iAMWHOiAM podcast. This is episode 38. 38. Hey, I got a special guest with me. Known him in the gym. We see each other in the gym all the time. Really cool guy, man. I was rapping to him about how I love bodybuilding, and he started telling me about the golden era. A lot of people call the 90s the best years of bodybuilding, but me, I'm an 80s fan of those body types. And he was telling me about how he ran into these guys in the gym all the time in the early 90s and those physiques. And came to my bodybuilding show, man. I was telling him I'm training for a show. I'm gonna do the Dexter Jackson Classic. Drove down from our city to another city to come support me, man, and it meant the world to me, so I had to get him on the podcast. Introduce yourself, sir, for the audience.
This is Ron Broyles, and Chad, I just want to thank you for having me on, man. It's funny, you run into some people and you just click with them.
Yes, sir.
And that's what happened to us, and man, it was my pleasure to go down there and watch you do your thing, man, because that takes a lot of guts.
Yeah, man, bodybuilding's weird too, because you can't watch no tape. You don't know who's gonna show up. You know, in my space, I felt pretty good about it, you know, but then you get there and you run into, you know, Mr. T or Hulk Hogan or whoever. So.
And Tom Platz.
Yeah,
quads are like bigger than your body, and you're going, what am I doing with this?
Yeah, what am I doing? Yeah, why didn't I do the swimming?
No, you did great, man.
Hey, I appreciate it. Just a quick synopsis on what I know, and we'll try to get to know more about him as we go. He's ever since I met him, he was talking about skydiving. And we're gonna skydive. No,
we're still going. We're going. You know that.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said we're gonna do it, so we're gonna do it. But I'm looking at him like, man, I don't even really like flying all that much, you know. And then you want me to jump out of the working plane, you know? And he sent me some video, man. And he's jumping out of limousines, and he's climbing up buildings, 1,000-foot buildings, and he's jumping off the Golden State. You were the first person to ever jump off the Golden State.
I was the first guy to base jump from the top of the towers of the Golden Gate Bridge.
So tell me about that. What?
Well, I went to stunt school, and I was in the stunt business for a while. And if you go out on an interview and they ask you, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? You know, you can't say no.
Oh.
And so I started skydiving because I got asked one day, you skydiving? I said, yeah, sure. When I leave, I'm going, I got to go get some jumps in, man. So I started skydiving, and then I started looking at a thing called base jumping. It was brand new, and that's where you jump off a building or an antenna or a span or earth, and that's where the word base comes from.
Oh.
And it's funny because I was working in LA at the time at a country club, and I wanted to base jump so bad, man. I said, that looks like fun, but I'm going to do something that somebody else has done. I want to base jump the Golden Gate Bridge.
Wow.
So I started reading about the guy that started the sport. His name was Carl Banish. And I said, I wonder where Carl's at, man. And somebody said, he lives down in Hawthorne. And Hawthorne's like 12 minutes away on the freeway.
Wow.
And so back then, we had phone books. And the LA phone book is like this big. Right?
Oh, okay.
So I start looking through the phone book, and his name is in the phone book. Carl Banish, Hawthorne, California. And so I call him up, and he answers the phone.
Wow.
I said, Mr. Banish, my name is Ron Broyles, and I'm going to base jump. I don't know how. And he said, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to do the Golden Gate Bridge. He said, that's very cool. He taught me to base jump over the phone.
What?
He told me how to do it. He told me how to get the pilot chutes and all that stuff right, man. And I went and I did it. And when we got up to do it, we had to like reconnaissance that thing for 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
And we finally found a door that was open in the base of it. And we started climbing up there, trying to find a way to the top. And my buddy, God bless him, he passed away about 5 years ago.
Oh, I hear that.
But he figured out, once we got to the ground level, he took the lock apart, and he took micrometer settings on the pins, and he made a key for it. So now we just got to go up, open the door, and climb in. And where we opened up, there's an elevator to the top.
Wow.
It's a real small one. It's only about 2 feet by 3.5 feet.
Wow.
But we were able to go to the top of this thing, man. And I'll tell you, that was an experience.
Wow. So let's start from the beginning then. So you're from, where are you from?
La Follette.
La Follette,
Tennessee. That's about 60 miles from Maryland.
Okay. So growing up, did you have a like for climbing then? Were you into climbing then, or?
Well, I love to climb. excuse me, we lived right by the projects.
Okay.
And on a big hill. And the front of the house was on 1 story, and the back of the house was 2 stories. And by that back of the house, 2 stories, there was a huge apple tree.
Yeah, yeah.
And I climbed up in that thing, and I said, you know what, this looks like a lot of fun. I'm gonna go out over the roof, you know. And the farther I went out on that limb over the roof, the more it bent down toward the roof. And it finally got about 6 inches off of it. I said, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and get on the roof.
Yeah.
And when I did that, that limb went wow, and I couldn't get back on it.
Wow.
It went out of my reach.
Wow.
And now I'm going, my mama's gonna beat me. And I went to the front of the house, and she came out looking for me on the porch. She said, Ronnie. And she started, freaking out a little bit.
Yeah,
I said,
yeah.
I gotta tell her, man. So I said, Mama, I'm up here. She looked at her and said, do not move. And we didn't have a lot of money.
Yeah.
We basically, we didn't have a ladder.
Yeah.
So she had to go get this 2x6, a rough cut 2x6 board. She laid it up against the house, and she said, now you shimmy down there. And I come down, I had splinters all over me, all over my arms, and all my little legs.
Yeah.
I just knew I was gonna get splintered and a butt busted.
Yeah, I know, right?
And she took me in the house, and she got that material chrome, and she pulled those out, and pretty soon, I'm going, okay, now the butt busting's coming. She just looked at me and said, Ron, don't you ever do that again. So that was my first experience with
So, sorry about the dogs. We had some dogs in the house. So you looking at this tree. I used to like to climb trees as a kid, but we climbed to a branch, then jump off of it.
Right.
So you was like, let's go higher and then higher. So you looking for the top.
always looking to go. When we moved to a different part of the Follett, there were these 2 big poplar trees, and at the top, they kept going up and went out like that. I climbed to the top of either one of those and just grab it and start swinging.
Wow.
I just loved it, man. I just loved it. Never has bothered me.
So you grow up in Little Follett. You play any sports?
I played football.
You play football?
As a wide receiver.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you fast?
I wasn't fast, but I had pretty good hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's up. So
I was quick, but I wasn't fast.
You was quick? Okay.
I can make those cuts,
Yeah,
I can leave a guy standing there.
That's what's up. What's up.
Yeah.
So you finish high school, and then what?
Joined the Navy. Saw the world.
Saw the world.
Yeah,
Talk to me about that.
Man, we went everywhere. We started out, I started out in Orlando, Florida. They closed that since that was a training facility.
Oh, okay.
And then I went up to Great Lakes near Chicago and had A-school training. I was a machinist mate. That means I drove the ship. Now, it's different from steering the ship, but I drove the ship. And then got stationed in Treasure Island, San Francisco, doing transition from there, going to Long Beach, California, getting on a ship until I got my permanent duty station.
Oh, okay.
And then went back to Bath, Maine, and got on the USS Halsey, went around through the canal, through the Panama Canal, and back up to San Diego, man. And
Wow.
San Diego back then, the tallest building in town was like 5 stories. It was the Aztec Hotel.
What?
And right now it looks like LA, but I'm telling you what, San Diego was very cool.
Wow.
Very cool. Wow. Just people from everywhere, and everybody just had great Mexican food, man.
Oh wow.
Just killer.
Wow. So leaving Tennessee and all that world traveling didn't bother you at all? Like you didn't have any
It's the
you had
best
someone
thing.
behind you push you like, hey, you maybe might want to do this or
My mama, I never had a dad. It was my mother, my grandmother that raised me. And my mama always told me, Ronnie, you can do anything you want to do.
Gotcha.
And you know what? When you believe that, when somebody, an authority figure like that tells you that, you got to believe it.
You gotta believe it.
And that's what you carry with you all your life. Whatever your childhood is, man, if you've had a bad one and it's screwing up what you want to do or where you want to go, you gotta take that stuff out and look at it and shake it out and throw it away.
Gotcha.
And then you got to move on. Because you know what? We got one chance. We got one shot at this whole thing.
Wow.
That's it.
That's deep, yeah, because you really.
But I tell you what, man, we went to Europe. I took 30 days leave and hitchhiked all throughout Europe, man. And I didn't know anything about the currency exchange. I just hold out a handful of money and trust the people that they're only going to take what they need. And you know what? I'm a trusting guy anyway. I just think, most people are good.
Yeah.
Most people are good.
And I feel like most people I would deal with, I know if you were being shady.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel that way.
Yeah. You got to have a feeling like that.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I might have been a little too naive.
No doubt.
But, you get busted enough, you kind of get that antenna out there waiting to see if there's some, but you still got to keep your heart open, man, because that's the problem we have today, I think. We have all kinds of situations in society where if we just go up and look, if I never started talking to you in the gym because you look different from me, we wouldn't be doing this, man. And it's all crazy. It all makes no sense.
Yeah, it's nuts, man. Speaking on that, I mean, today, or not today, I guess a couple months ago, we had the whole issue in Georgia. I'm so sick of race debates and prejudices and stuff like that. I mean, we're accepting everybody's sexuality, everybody's everything, but still race, we don't accept it as a people, and it's frustrating because if you reverse just the situation that happened, if it would have been me and somebody else that looked like me, and we had drove down, hunted you down while you were jogging, and shot you with, and both of us armed with shotguns.
You'd be under the jail in about 10
They
minutes.
would have killed us probably then. We wouldn't even have made it to the jail. So for people to be like, well, we don't know the whole situation, I get it. But the whole taking the law into your hands,
That's just crazy.
It's crazy, man. What do you think? I would like to know your opinion on that.
Well, it was shocking to me, having lived in LA for 25 years,
Okay.
to come back here and understand in the year 2020 that we still got stuff like that going on now.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you what, if you believe that the pigmentation in a layer of your skin has any effect at all on your honesty, your work ethic, your intelligence, or any other aspect of your character, if you believe that pigment, then I don't even want to talk to you, man. That's just too stupid to comprehend.
Yeah,
It's just too stupid to comprehend.
Yeah, no doubt.
But now I will say, since I grew up in the 60s, the 50s and 60s, in the South, it has changed dramatically. And ironically, you know what's really helped?
What's that?
As much as people don't want to admit it, rap music.
Yeah, ain't that true?
It's got people together, man.
Yeah.
But I think we just got to go forward from here. And I'll tell you, for every story like that, and it's a horrible, evil thing, there are 10,000 stories of people getting together.
Oh yeah.
And making things good happen.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what we got to focus on, man.
Yeah.
Now, the people that did that, those guys need to be, whatever that has to be done to them, thrown in prison for 50 years or whatever.
Yeah, no doubt.
But we got to say, okay, I can only do so much, but that so much may be coming up, and we don't do it now, but come up and shaking your hand and introducing yourself.
Right.
And then you start talking, and guess what? I like the same things you do.
Yeah.
I like the same food you do.
Yeah.
I like to go to the same movie you do.
Same
and
one.
We're all basically, and I don't know why we just can't get over that, but I think we got to interact more. And by that, I mean, hey, if you're having a birthday party, I want to come, and I want to eat the cake, and I want to see the kids playing and all that stuff. Man, I want to bring my kids. I mean, that was the great thing about moving to Inglewood.
Inglewood.
Oh, the Inglewood, bro.
So Inglewood. So you talking about like doing all
I'm
that?
talking about the
Crib walking and stuff.
That's the only place we could afford a house, man.
Why? Talk to me about Inglewood.
Well, we lived all over LA. We lived everywhere from Brentwood to Santa Monica to West LA, to Sawtell, everywhere. And the only place we ever moved that we felt like it was a neighborhood was Inglewood, California. It's called Oladera.
What?
Yeah. And we moved there in '99, bought a house, because like I said, you can't buy a garage out there for less than $250,000.
I've heard.
But we got a nice little 3-bedroom house, and we didn't care who our neighbors were.
Yeah.
And it was like the UN. We had a Japanese family here, we had a Mexican family here, old crazy Charles across the street. But when we moved in, as God is my witness, one of the neighbors brought us a cake. That don't happen, man.
No.
And we have block parties and shut the block down, man. It's crazy.
What?
Yeah, 4th of July was nuts.
Wow.
The fire trucks would come up and down the street and they're squirting water at people, man.
Wow. So '99, that was
That's about 10 years before you were born, right?
Yeah, not at all. I'm trying to think what was going on in '99. So that was after the riots.
It was.
Okay. Yeah, that was out. Okay. Cool. So Inglewood, California. So starting to file it, you go to the Navy, and then when you get out the Navy, is that when you get to the?
Well, I went out of the Navy. I went to Chicago to go to school.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what did you go to school for?
City regional planning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Went up there, and then my mom and grandmother weren't doing so well, so I moved back to the fall,
Gotcha.
and then I finished up at UT.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then I started doing stunt work as a side job while I was going to UT with a guy named Mad Jack Fielding over in Knoxville.
Oh, wow.
And Mad Jack, we rolled cars, we jumped off the building, I jumped motorcycles over stuff. And we did that, you know, shock values to get people over there. We'd say, okay, Saturday we're having a big sale. We put these commercials on, man, and his parking lot would be like 3,000 to 5,000 people in.
Wow.
It was crazy. We do everything.
Wow.
But we had, actually, we had a black dwarf named Percy. Percy would come to the shoots, man, in a white limousine with about 10 women. I mean, it was just all show, man. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
And then Jack would be there, and I built a stage one time that had the back of it looked like a wall, you know, like a panel wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had to put a harness on him and a jacket and stuff. And there's like 6 of us behind the wall with a pulley hooked up to the other side of the wall. And Percy comes in and goes, Jack, that stuff you sold me is junk, man. I want my money back. And Jack goes, it's been 30 days, Percy. You're not getting your money back. He said, Jack, I want my money back. And Jack goes, I can't do it, Percy. He said, if you don't give me my money back, I'm going to knock you through that wall. Percy grabbed back and hit him in the stomach, and at the same time, 6 of us pulled that rig and just blew him back through the wall. I was so funny.
What?
I wish I could find those things.
Yeah, man. I've noticed you were good about documenting everything, man.
Well, I had a grand plan.
Okay.
Every day, there's X amount of people getting off the plane, driving out, getting off the train, getting off the bus to go to Hollywood to be a stuntman or an actor or an actress or a director or something.
Right.
And man, you're talking about an area that's, I mean, you go to any restaurant, and if you're a producer, you could probably get 2 or 3 scripts from the waiter or the waitress, you know, your server would come up to you and say, hey, you want to check this out? Because everybody was trying to get in business.
Right.
And I had to as my buddy says, I had to extricate myself from the masses by doing stuff that made me stand above all that. And that's why I started climbing the buildings and base jumping and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, okay. So you're back here, then you go to LA?
I went to LA in '82 and stayed till 2007.
Wow.
25 years.
Wow. So you finish school, you come back, you finish school here, I mean.
Yep.
Then you go, that's when you go to LA though?
I went to LA in 1982.
82.
And I'd done some stuff for Jack. We climbed it used to be the United American Bank over here in Knoxville. Right now it's the First Tennessee Bank.
The one downtown?
Yeah.
Okay, I know where you're at.
Yeah, I climbed that and everybody thought it was him. We dressed me up to make it look like it was him.
Yeah.
And it was a slow news day, man.
So that's what kind of gave you the stunt double idea.
Yeah.
Oh, I got you.
But I just loved all the, I mean, there's a lot of physics and a lot of mathematics involved with doing all that stuff. Man, jumping cars and motorcycles, man, you just don't get out there and do it. You got to figure all this stuff out. And I like that part of it too, you know, figuring out how you're going to do this without killing yourself.
Gotcha. Yeah, because that clip you showed me was really cool because it seemed like it was well calculated when you were climbing the 1,000-foot building. I think you said, was it in Houston?
Houston, Texas.
Houston, Texas. So you climbing a building, and I'm going to put a little clip on the screen so y'all can see it if you're watching this on YouTube. But you're climbing a building straight up and it has no window sills. I mean, it's just like straight glass, like a windshield almost.
I'll tell you a story on
talk to me.
The equipment. If you notice where that clip I sent you starts, you got my buddy Andy Andrews there, who by the way was an LAPD detective, and he could have gotten in trouble for doing that, but he went along with me no matter where we went. But if you see that piece of equipment I'm holding, you know, on those first few scenes, that was designed by a guy named Walter Stones, and when he built it, he was 92 years old.
Wow.
And he was the original engineer who designed and built the mechanical effects at Disneyland in 1956.
What?
Yeah, it was nuts. And Walter loved his vodka and water, man, and he had to drink that because his wife didn't like him drinking. And you know, he had his vodka and water, nobody could tell him, and she couldn't smell it on his breath, but he could.
Yeah.
Oh man, we had such a great time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But he built that stuff.
Because I didn't see a harness or nothing, or?
No, what it's got is window washing tracks, okay?
Okay.
And we had it made so you turn that thing 90 degrees, you stick it in, and then you turn it back down, and there's a T in there. And that big round plate had cork on it, so I didn't want to damage the building. I didn't want to get, you know,
Yeah,
that kind of liability from, I mean, God knows what that would have been if I did any damage.
Right.
But yeah, we got down there, and I did a recon on the building because I had to take all the measurements and everything of the inside of the track.
Oh,
And
gotcha.
Yeah, so I flew out there, and I think, when did we do that? March or whatever. But anyway, it was 3 months before, and then I went back and Walter made all the gear for me.
Gotcha. So when you recon the building, you just kind of, what do you?
Well, we hang out there, and you got to look around, and then you got to find out where the security people are.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because none of this was sanctioned.
Okay. Yeah.
Now they shoot you.
Yeah.
But then I think I got attachment on the building. I think Andy said it was like 4:45 in the morning. And then you wanna try to get above 70 or 80 feet so they can't bring in the fire truck with a ladder against you.
Oh.
And then after that, you're cool to go ahead. And it's funny, back then there were no cell phones, but we had a roam phone. Remember the old roam phone where you pull the antenna out of the base station?
Yeah.
Well, the base station was in a hotel room across the street, but we couldn't get enough distance, so we had to use an old extension cord as an antenna. And it was orange, and the side of the building was kind of a brownish yellow.
Yeah.
And we could see it sticking out there, and everybody would have known where. So it just so happened that masking tape was the same color exactly as the side of the building. So we wrapped the extension cord in masking tape and hung it out, and you couldn't even see it, man. Wow. And I was talking to Australia and England and everywhere on the side of that building with that roam phone.
Wow.
It was crazy.
Wow. So I noticed, like, after I guess you get done, you get to the top.
Yeah.
The police are escorting you
Oh, yeah.
away.
Oh, sure.
So
every
that's
time.
every time.
Every time.
So that's normal.
Yeah.
Wow. So
I've
talk to
been
me
arrested
about
like
that.
15 times.
So is that like a, hey man, we're gonna sit you in a cell, or they kind of just do some paperwork?
No, I tell you what. Well, when I based up the Golden Gate Bridge the second time.
Yeah.
Down at the bottom, there's a moat. There's a seawall that separates the ocean from the bridge. So if a ship hits it, it'll just hit the seawall. It won't hit the tower.
Right.
And the moat inside there, the water is not exchanged, man. And I landed in that, and they're like dead birds and oil and everything. So I got down in there, man, and I'm trying to swim up and grab a hold of the ladder because it's low tide.
Yeah.
And I'm just like a porpoise, you know, I'm swimming around. And I finally get a hold of it, and I climb up the top of it, and I see this blue light spinning. It's a Coast Guard.
Wow.
So they arrest me, and they take me up to the highway patrolman who's going to take me downtown.
Yeah.
And the highway patrolman turns off all the radios and everything, and he goes back, he looks back at me and says, well, don't say I said this, but that's pretty cool. Most of those guys are just decent guys.
Yeah,
you know, they were just concerned, I think, that I was going to fall.
Right.
You know, they don't understand how it happens, and all I can see is like a speck inside.
I'm so sorry about these dogs. They
It's
normally
okay.
don't get like that, but of course she came down here, so scared them up. So I saw you was on a game show.
Yeah, I did about four.
Four game shows.
Yeah.
So this is in the 80s?
Was.
It's 80s?
85, 86. Yeah. Tic-tac-toe, win, lose, or draw. I was on win, lose, or draw.
I remember win, lose, or draw.
I was on that with Betty
that
White.
show. Wow. So you met Betty White?
Yeah, I met a lot of people.
Wow. So talk to me about Betty White, man. How was she?
Well, it's funny. She probably was in her 50s and very attractive.
Yeah, even in the 50s.
Even.
Wow.
And we go in the green room. The green room's where everybody gets to know each other and everything before you get on the show. And she comes in the green room and she introduced herself. She said, oh, okay, you wouldn't have to like older women, would you? She's just a hoot.
Yeah, no doubt.
Real classy lady.
Yeah, no doubt. So you, I'm sure in the midst of all this popularity and fame you're getting because not only are you jumping off everything, but you're on TVs and stuff. Did you get any acting type of gigs going? Or?
I did. When you're young and you're cocky, and you think everybody needs to come to you.
And I hate that. I hate that happened.
Let me tell you something. Take for example when I climbed the first interstate bank in downtown LA.
Okay.
I was on there for probably 6 or 8 hours, and Johnny Carson, the show, tried to contact me, and I didn't have an agent.
Wow.
And 4 or 5 days, when I finally found out they were looking for me and got back to them, I'll tell you something that happened that you probably don't remember, but it was crazy. This guy named Larry Newman down in Long Beach, California, hooked up about 16 helium balloons to a lawn chair, and he took off. And he had a BB gun, so he could start shooting if he wanted to come down. But he got up to like 20,000 feet or something like that. But by the time I got back to him, Larry Newman was the hot item, and he's the one that got on the show, and he said, "Feel sorry."
Wow.
Yeah. But I got an agent soon after that, and I did some national commercials, and I did stuff like that.
Yeah.
And my first film, I was actually the stunt coordinator on it.
Oh, wow. So what was your first film?
Well, it's called Freeway Maniac, and it is terrible.
But
I got I got my chops on it.
Yeah.
The reviews are terrible, but they say the stunt works pretty good.
Well, okay, so that's how it's a team effort. But
It is a team.
As long as I had for it, right? That was the young kids. Huh?
Well, you talk about a situation where everybody has to work together and make it a movie.
Yeah,
that's an effort.
It's an
Everybody has to be
ultimate
on the same page.
Yeah, no doubt. So I'm just trying to take it all in, man. You're from Tennessee, La Follette. That's even smaller area than where we're at right now. And
7,000 people. It's had 7,000 forever.
Wow.
One's born and one dies. It just stays the same.
Wow. So and then you travel the world in the Navy. You come back. You start your passion then with your climbing and your stunt doubling.
Yeah.
Then you take it professional out to the West Coast.
Yeah.
So after, not to mention you're the first person to base jump from the top of the.
Yep.
So with all these accolades and fame, I know you had to have some fame. Talk to me about so you remember what's the stunt guy that used to drive the cars? I can't remember his name back then in the 90s.
Dar Robinson?
Dar Robinson, maybe. Can't remember his name. He used to drive the cars up to things.
Al Needham?
Maybe. Had a show on TV. Not Dan and Dave. That was
talking about That's Incredible?
That's Incredible, maybe. That sounds right.
Yeah, Dar was the stunt coordinator on that. Dar and I had a situation.
Okay. Because I guess that was my question. Why, I guess.
Well, it's a long story.
Yeah.
I hope I don't start crying. But when Jack was doing his stunts, he kept trying to get bigger and bigger things. So he was going to go for a world record fire tunnel stunt.
Yeah, that's what was going on in the show.
Yep. And he called Dar Robinson and Kai Michelson out from LA to help him with that. He paid them to come out and sort of coordinate him with that.
Gotcha.
And at that time, Dar was the biggest stuntman. You ever see Sharky's machine?
Yeah.
Okay, he's the one that goes through the window backwards into an airbag.
Wow.
Dar, as far as I'm concerned, Dar is one of the greatest, if not the greatest stuntman that ever lived.
Oh, wow.
So we're up there with the fire tunnel, and the fire tunnel happens and everything, and then everybody just stops and they're drinking beer and raising hell and having a good time.
Yeah.
And we've got a contract that we have to clean up our mess when it's over.
Gotcha.
So I'm over here, scrubbing up and trying to clean everything up. And Dar looks over and he comes over and says, "What's your name?" I said, "I'm Ron Broyles." He said, "What do you want to do?" I said, "I'll be a stuntman one day." He gives me his card and he said, "If you come to LA, look me up." And I did.
Yeah.
And I drove, for a while, I drove Dar's limo for him and carried his bag. That's where he started.
Yeah, no doubt.
And then, I started getting more and more notoriety, climbing the buildings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Young, cocky guy that thinks he knows it all. I don't eat Dar, I'm going to go with that, And so I had an entree there that, I don't know though, I don't know if I got hurt or not, but Dar, he was ready to give me a break, man.
Wow.
And then I met Troy Melton. Troy was one of the first 5 founding members of the Stuntmen's Association.
Oh, wow.
He did everything that you could imagine. He used to work at 3 different studios. He'd get through doing stunts on one show, like Bonanza, and he'd go over to another studio and do stunts for another show.
Wow.
And he was my mentor, really. He really helped me out a lot. As a matter of fact, he paid my way through stunt school out there.
That's what's up. Yeah, I saw that picture. It was you had a big class. I didn't realize that many people were.
We did. Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
And Bob Eubanks, the old game show host.
That sounds from Eubanks, sounds familiar.
Bob Eubanks ran the school because his 3 children, Stacy, Tracy, and Corey, were stunt people on the Dukes of Hazzard.
Wow.
And they're out there showing us how to do some of this driving stuff, and Corey was unbelievable. He'd set up 2 cones, and this is on gravel. He'd come in there and slide it sideways and be within 6 inches of either one of those cones. Oh, it just blew you away. That's like a feel. You almost feel it.
Yeah.
Oh, we had a great time, man. But what happened was, Chad, finally, I started getting more and more notoriety. And then when I started skydiving, like everything else, I researched it. You know, I look back and see who did what when. And I found out that the high altitude skydiving record was 102,800 feet, I think. And it was set by Captain Joe Kittinger of the Air Force in 1960 when they were leading up to the space race. They had to find out all kinds of biometric stuff about what happens to a person at altitude.
Yeah.
But he went out the door of an open gondola at 102,000 feet. I'll send you that clip.
Yeah, show me that. I'll put it on the screens.
But I said, you know what? That'd make a great live event. That would make a great pay-per-view event to try to break that record. And I started working on that for 9 years.
Wow.
And I finally got it to the point where you probably never heard of him, but Doug Llewellyn. Doug Llewellyn was on People's Court. He was the court reporter.
Seems like sounds familiar.
Well, Doug did a live TV show called Al Capone's Vault, live.
Okay.
And they went to Chicago to Al Capone's old house, and Geraldo Rivera was the star. And they went downstairs and they found all these blocked up, rooms, they thought, and they were going to open them on live TV to see if Al Capone had some money back there, had some vehicles back there, or some kind of stuff. So there was nothing there.
Yeah.
But it was the biggest live event ever on television. It got like a 34 share, which is massive.
Wow.
And then, Doug went down to the Titanic, the ship.
Okay.
With Ballard and those guys. And they brought up a safe and they opened it on live TV with Telly Savalas. Return to Titanic live. And that was the second highest show ever rated live on TV. And so a friend of mine knew Doug. I said, what's your pitch in this show, man? Because I was going to jump out of a helium balloon to break Captain Kittinger's record at 125,000. And I put that thing together solid, man, over that time. And Doug said, okay, we're going to do it. So he bought the show. Fox bought the show.
Yeah.
And at the time, David Hill David Hill's the guy that brought NFL to Fox. Really sharp.
Okay.
And they went on to be the head of Fox Television one time. But we trained. I was jumping every weekend, man. We were going higher and higher. And then Rupert Murdoch, this is 2 weeks before we're going to go to Australia and do pre-production on the show. Rupert Murdoch calls David on the phone and says, Dave, you started out with me 20 years ago in Australia as a sound man.
Wow.
If this thing goes south, it's on you. So guess what? He calls Doug up the next morning in the Australian accent and he goes, hey Doug, I love the project, but I just ain't got the balls for it. And they cut off everything. They cut off all the training, everything. And that's just business.
Yeah.
But I had 2 kids and I had a mortgage and I had, I went into depression for like 6 months.
Wow.
Because that's
9 years.
And let me tell you something. 9 years in Hollywood might as well be 900 years. Nobody knows your name. Nobody's going to take your call. So I got my contractor's license and basically started over. Hey, nobody said life's fair, man.
No. Well, on a lighter note, I saw you lifting in the video you sent me.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to know what lifting out there. Did you ever go to Muscle Beach, Venice Beach?
I used to belong to the Goals, baby.
What?
Flex Wheeler, Tom Platts, all of them, man, right there beside me.
Seriously?
God is my witness.
What?
And I've seen Flex Wheeler take 120s, do them flies as long as you want to, and throw them across your room. Flex lost a leg recently.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, we actually too. We lost day before yesterday. We lost. He's a new up and coming guy. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. Sando.
No.
Luke Sando.
No.
He's a newer bodybuilder, man. Really big.
Well, you know who Charles Glass is.
Yeah.
I got pictures of me and my girl standing right beside Charles Glass. I'll send you that.
What?
Oh yeah. And look, we knew Charles back in 1986 when I first joined.
So 86. So okay, before you tell me about that, 86 would have been the time Lee Haney is on the way.
Oh yeah.
So have you seen him in person?
They're all in there, man.
So talk to me about it.
And the thing about goals is, if you're serious and you come in regularly, and they know you're trying, you're cool. But don't come in there touristing around, man. Don't do it.
That's what's
and
up.
Charles Glass, we were 3 knuckleheads that our arms were like he's the only one that would give us any serious tips, man. And Charles has trained everybody that's anybody.
So I've watched Charles Glass over the years. I saw him with Flex. I saw him with Cormier.
Yep.
Does that sound familiar?
Yep.
And I saw him with I can't remember.
You ever seen him with the Barbarian Brothers?
No.
Oh, man, Barbarian Brothers are coming in overalls and army boots, and they were twins. Oh, it's crazy.
For real? Were they jacked?
Lyle Alzado used to come in, man. He was so juiced up though. He'd go into the shower. He'd bust the shower stall with his fist.
What?
Oh, he was jacked up, man.
So, did you see Arnold then?
Yeah.
Because Arnold would have been jacked back then.
I used to have breakfast with Arnold sitting right there.
What?
I'm not kidding you. Firehouse Cafe. Look it up. Firehouse.
What? No,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
No. Wow.
Firehouse. And it was no big deal.
For real?
And, you don't come in there asking for autographs and stuff.
Oh,
That's not cool.
yeah. Nah, that ain't cool at all.
I mean, he just come in and sit down and say, "How you doing?" We're doing great, man. How you doing today? Because his office was like a half a block up the street.
Gotcha, because he wasn't really like Arnold we know today then.
He
was a
getting,
bodybuilder.
well, what movie was it where he was driving the big Humvee that the Army gave him when the movie was over? That's when Arnold and my gang was
Let me
in there
think.
together.
So Twins, I remember Twins. That wasn't a Humvee.
It had to be a military one, but I can't remember. Which
Yeah, I can't remember.
It had to be
either.
86, 87.
That's
somewhere
when
in
he.
there. Somewhere in
That's
there.
when he hit the.
But yeah, I mean, they'd all come in there, man.
For real.
Oh yeah, Flex Wheeler be in there eating like 40.
So Flex Wheeler, the best physique you've seen in person?
Absolutely, no question about it.
Wow.
No question about it. And then I saw Tom Platz one day. You know who
Okay.
Tom Platz is.
Yeah.
He was on a donkey machine. He had all the weights you could put on it. It was a photo shoot.
Yeah.
He had two girls sitting on the weights, and he had a girl on his back doing calves.
Wow.
And I mean, them things were like boom, and you're going, oh, man, how do I get there? I mean, it was like four generations later, Ron, you might be there. You got married the right people. It was cool, man.
Yeah,
it was so cool.
Man, that's crazy, man. That's crazy because me, I'm a big bodybuilding fanatic, man. I can only imagine how seeing Flex Wheeler, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing
You know
about
what I'm saying?
it. I've known a lot of actors, but to me, and being in LA, that's just like walking down the street, man.
So it's just.
It just is.
Because I'm sure you saw probably a lot of actors. Like Magic Johnson, all them guys. Because that's the late 80s. That's Magic Johnson.
I was coming back from somewhere, and I was walking down this long corridor at LAX, and Magic Johnson comes out of some, like an invisible panel. He'd been in some room that only the VIPs know about.
Yeah.
And he and I were like this, and my stepson just loved him. I said, Mr. Johnson, would you mind? I mean, I know this is rude, but would you mind signing an autograph to my stepson?
Yeah.
He looked up the hall and down the hall, and he said, yeah, okay. So I finally got an autograph for my stepson.
Yeah, he seems like a genuine guy, man. He seems like he'd be really busy.
Well, I'll tell you a funny story.
Okay.
His wife's name's Cookie.
Yeah, yep.
And so we used to go up Westwood. My girl and I used to go up Westwood all the time and go to movies.
Yeah.
So we go in. We go in and sit down, and in comes Magic Johnson with Cookie.
What?
And he sits like 3 rows in front of us. And the whole time, it's like I'm invisible. My girl is like looking and seeing what's going on.
Yeah.
But man, I mean, you just see people all the time.
Man, that is nuts.
I mean, a lot of them kind of stayed off the beaten road. There were a lot of people out there just going to bookstores and stuff. I've been this close to Cher in a bookstore. I'm going through some stuff, and I look, and Cher's looking right at me, man. I'm going, that's a little creepy because she didn't have any makeup. The woman was not attractive.
Oh, she wasn't?
No, she was not.
Oh, okay.
No, she was not. And so I kept moving down, and she kept moving down, and I'm going, this is just weird.
Yeah.
But Mary McConnell.
That sounds familiar.
Dances with Wolves.
Yes.
She's more attractive in real life.
She has a daughter.
I didn't know that.
I think. Well, maybe not. I don't know. But I thought
Beautiful
McConnell.
one.
Yeah.
Gorgeous one.
Seems like she has a daughter, McConnell.
Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
Used to work out with him.
What?
Back when he was a kid.
Man, so what in the world brought you back this way? How could you leave that, man? I mean, I know you're down.
I miss it all the time. I miss it. But I tell you what, I did not want my girls to grow up.
That makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense.
And
so how old were they when all this was
one
happening?
of them was...
or how many daughters do you have?
Kenna's now 24.
Okay.
And Savannah's 17. So
Okay.
we moved here when Savannah was 5.
Yeah, because it's the 90s. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, and 2007 is when I actually wrapped up everything out of there, all my business, and got back here.
Gotcha.
But it's just, it's just a crazy. But don't get me wrong, I loved every minute of it.
Right.
I thought I would go back after I retired, but I'm not going to. I can't leave my girls now. One's pregnant.
Yeah, nah, you don't want to. I mean,
I can't do it. I just can't do it.
Yeah, you don't. You hit the nail on the head. I mean, it's as different as this place is from the rest of the planet. It's also a great place to raise a family,
and Chad, family's everything. Family's everything.
I'm glad to hear you say that because I deal with that a lot, man. I went to film school.
You did, yeah.
I graduated with, probably 40 of us, and 39 of them went straight to LA. And, I wouldn't say, but it was a high percentage, you know. And every day I like, what if? But at the end of the day, you get, like you said earlier, you get one time around this loop.
You get one time.
You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to miss seeing anything. You can always get back there, or if it's even meant for, if you even want to go there one day. But to be honest with you, man, sitting here doing this is just as thrilling to me as shooting a dang, multi-million-dollar film. You know what I'm saying? It's just all in perception.
Yeah, and at least in a place like this, you know that people are more or less real.
Yeah.
Because that's something you got to struggle with out there. I mean, I've been through so many managers and agents and producers and directors, man. They'll tell you one thing and turn around and stab you in the back, man.
Yeah.
And it coming from a little town like that, it's hard to do. How can people do that? Well, money's involved. That's how.
Yeah. Well, I've been working for corporations for a while, and they're the same. It's the same type of just like, shoot you to climb over you to get to your spot,
exactly.
So, yeah, it's the same everywhere. So you mentioned rap music earlier, man, and everybody that come on the podcast, I'm really curious to see what your answer to this is top 5 rappers of all time, in your opinion. Your top 5. I don't care about
Snoop.
Okay, so and they got to be in order.
Eazy-E.
Eazy-E.
You know who Short Dog is?
Yeah, Too Short, right?
Short. Man, people going to say you're crazy, but I like MC Hammer. I did.
Pumps in a bump.
I did.
I like the Funky Headhunter album. A lot of people say that's his worst album, but it was a good album, man.
But and for an overall guy, I gotta say Chuck D.
Chuck D, that's a new one. Yeah, I can dig it.
Public Enemy.
Yeah, no, I know you're talking about. That's a good one.
And Flavor was the guy out front.
Okay.
Chuck was here.
Yeah, Chuck D did have him.
Chuck was there.
I guess I didn't like his beats. He didn't pick the right beats.
Well,
he was.
You talk about a corporate rapper. He was corporate. He made a lot of money, man.
Yeah, he
produced
did.
A lot of people.
Yeah, he did make a lot of money.
But I tell you what, that Apocalypse 91. That's a great album, man.
I need to go back and check it out because I don't think I've listened to it as an adult.
Yeah, buddy. That's some serious stuff.
Yeah. That's what's up. So, out of all your stunts, all your jumps, all your climbs, I got 2 questions. Which one was the most like gratifying and fulfilling, and what was the one that you was like just scared? Like, not scared, but like, you don't
didn't
know that
turn out well. Golden Gate Bridge Jump 1 was the best the best adventure, the best planning, the best team. I mean, we had 28 people involved in that, man.
Wow.
And the guy, my buddy that passed away, he's afraid of heights.
Oh, okay.
But we had to have somebody to get across to the bridge tower to look it over, see if he could find an entrance and everything. So this guy shimmied across an I-beam that's about a foot wide, 250 feet above the water, afraid of heights, but he did it for the team.
Wow.
He got over there, and then that's how he figured out how to take the lock apart, make a key, so he didn't have to do it anymore.
Wow.
But I mean, we had about 5 boats in the water well, this is the second time when I had the problem.
Yeah.
We had 5 boats in the water, and a guy named Richard Burke jumped with me, and another guy on top when things went sour.
Yeah.
We call him Spider McKenna. And RB goes off, and he has a reverse opening, and he flies back into the bridge. and he hits the catwalk, breaks 2 ribs, punctures a lung. He shoots laying there, draped over the side. Man, we're afraid that the wind's going to catch it and drag him off there. Wow. And then Spider, and this is back before cell phones.
Yeah.
And Spider and I have a $2,000 walkie-talkie in a plastic bag strapped onto my leg. So I rip that thing open and I start trying, but there's so much so much radio interference up there, it ain't getting nowhere.
Right,
so I try to put it back in. So when I jumped off, same thing happened to me. Our parachutes were packed in reverse. We didn't know it at the time.
Wow.
So I flew into the bridge too. And I got hung up because I delayed opening for another split second.
Yeah.
And I was hanging there, just hanging there.
Yeah.
And now you see the Coast Guard helicopters circling, and you see the boats down there and everything. And come to find out, my buddy, who passed away, he went up and got Richard, took him back, and they put him in a race boat, a twin Chrysler 500, and the Coast Guard chased him, but they couldn't catch him. And they got away over to Sausalito, and they were watching it all on TV while I'm still hanging on the side of the building. It was crazy. But, yeah, that's when I cut away, went into the drink, and, got arrested and all that stuff. But those capers I put right up with the best. Okay. And the one where I really had a problem was, the Transamerica building, San Francisco, the big pyramid.
Oh yeah. It kind of looked like the one in Memphis a little bit.
Okay, well I climbed that.
Okay.
In 1983, and in order to find out what the building was really like, I posed as a writer for an architectural magazine, and I got the building manager to show me around because I was going to write. I told him I was going to write an article about how this thing is stressed to a 9+ earthquake, and it is.
Yeah.
And so he gave me the run of the place, and I was Xeroxing, blueprints of the building and everything. But I got a 4th revision on a set of prints that had a 10 final.
Yeah.
So everything was about 6 inches off, and so I'm free climbing this freaking building, and I get up about the 35th story. I mean, the story just getting me on the building is crazy. We had a 60-foot extension ladder that at 4 o'clock in the morning, we were putting it up on the restaurant beside of it, and it falls over, clang, 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 and we just knew. Nobody said a word. They just figured we were working on it, I guess.
Right.
But I got up there, man, and it was tough. So, that's the only one I didn't make it to the top.
Wow.
And I regret it to this day.
Wow.
I did. But
why didn't you make it to the top?
Well, I almost fell. I was so tired because I'm free climbing, 350 feet, having to go up and press my body in a crack and reach up and grab and then pull my whole self up to the next level.
Gotcha.
And if I hadn't had to do that, I'd probably been fine. But I mean, my butt was kicked. I had like a 35-pound pack on, full of water, all kinds of stuff. And then it was the last football game before the big strike. Remember when when NFL went on strike? You don't remember. NFL went on strike.
What year was
this?
1983. No, I don't.
Went on strike.
That's when I was born, 1983.
Oh, I guess you don't remember, DJ. But anyway, the cop in the window trying to get me in, he said, "Hey, man, this is probably the last football game before NFL goes on strike, and I'm going to miss it because I'm out here talking to you." Man, that's what he said, trying to get me off of it.
Yeah.
And finally, I just said, "Man, this ain't worth it." Because I put a piece of gear in, and I leaned back on it, fell out. But I'm like, at that point, I'm 400-something feet off the ground, man. Dang. And I'd still be bouncing if I'd hit, because it's at an angle, so I'd have bounced here and bounced there and bounced there. Ugly. Dang. So valor is the better part, discretion is the better part of valor, if you ask me. You look at something and you know that if I push it any farther, it's not going to be good. And you got to know that, man. You can't be too macho and you can't be too, jacked up thinking, okay, I can do this. Hey, you're going to tell yourself so many lies, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know it. Yeah, I ain't gonna tell myself too many lies at that high anyway. I'm a realist especially when.
Well, we're gonna see how you act when you go out the door of that airplane. That's what's going.
So on other notes, I saw where you doing a lot of riding. Is that cycling?
Oh yeah.
So
man.
you going from I saw Tennessee and
I went from L.A. to Virginia.
L.A. like Los Angeles,
like
California.
Los Angeles to Virginia for my
Virginia.
Yes, sir, for my 50th birthday, I rode across the country.
Wow.
I always wanted to do it.
So how long does that take you?
Guess what the record is? It's called a Race Across America. It's a legit bicycle race. Guess what the record is for riding a bicycle across the country?
I'm gonna say 2 weeks.
7 days and change. I'm not kidding. 7 days and change. For the first 3 days, you don't rest, and every other day you only sleep 1 hour. But I made it in 31 days.
That's good. At 50.
That's not bad.
Yeah,
At 50, that ain't bad.
That's good. Yeah.
And then for my 60th, I rode from Sevierville to Key West for the Wounded Warrior Project.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was very cool.
That's a beautiful ride, too.
Well, once you get past Atlanta, it's flat and straight, man.
Yeah, because that
My
Atlanta to
grandmother could've made
Valdosta is kind of straight.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Valdosta, and then you get over to the coast.
Are you on the end, like 75 south, or is it like a bike
No,
trail?
unless, like when I rode across the country, we had to go on I-40 for a while because the old Route 66, they tore it up. Or it's underneath I-40 or whatever. So if you can't get from point A to point B any other way, you can go on the freeway.
Yeah.
But going to Key West, there were side roads. I mean, beautiful, going through these beautiful neighborhoods and stuff, man. It's great.
Gotcha. Talk to me about, like, that, man. I know that scene had to be crazy. That's like Jean-Claude Van Damme when he's popular. Magic Johnson and Lakers. What else was early 90s? The UNLV team.
Yeah.
I mean, you got like everything West Coast. I mean, Tupac.
Well, like I said, every day there's hundreds of young men and women coming to LA to be in the movie business or on TV or something.
Right.
So if you go to any restaurant or any club at any time, it's nothing but beautiful people. Back then.
So we talking about the women. Was it the women? It's crazy.
I don't even want to think about it, man. And then you get on TV a little bit, and it gets really crazy.
What?
Yeah. But I've dated some of the most beautiful women. I almost married an actress, a red-haired actress who was just, she had like 12 national television commercials running at one time. Wow. Just a gorgeous, ain't a sweetheart.
Yeah.
But when you're young,
It's
like waiting on buses, man. Nothing will be about 5,
Yeah.
No, I've done some stupid stuff. And I've tried to go back and know the people that I thought I hurt. I've actually went back and tried to make amends. Patch things up, man.
No doubt.
But it was just a crazy time, man.
So the beaches,
Lord,
it was crazy.
Especially the women's volleyball tournaments at Venice Beach.
Oh. You never did really tell me about so I know you was at the Mecca, but Venice Beach, like the outside gym,
Muscle Beach,
yeah,
baby.
that? How was that?
Crazy.
It was crazy.
Yeah, but the serious guys rarely went down there. They'd go down for shows and shoots and stuff.
Gosh.
But
they were in the gym.
But they were always in the gym, and they had the big sweats on and everything because they didn't want anybody knowing what they got.
Yeah, because they competing against each
yeah.
other. Yeah.
Yeah, you come out there and you're trying to show off and go, that ain't nothing, man. So they didn't know. You didn't find that.
Yeah.
But now you find the guys that come out from like Dubuque, Iowa, or somewhere, and they go out and show off. And,
yeah.
But it was cool. It was all cool. Man.
That's awesome, man.
We used to ride from LA to San Diego a lot, man, on bicycle.
How long does that take?
About 8 hours, 9 hours.
That ain't bad.
Yeah. And you go through Torrey Pines, the golf course, and you go through Camp Pendleton. Back then, you probably can't do that now, but we used to go through Camp Pendleton, and you're riding right along the ocean, man.
Oh, wow.
It's gorgeous. Just gorgeous. I'm getting a little homesick.
Yeah, man. I'm thinking about traveling out that way, man. That's crazy, man. I just, man, this whole podcast, man, is about like just chasing your passions. That's what I want to try to convince my audience, man. Just if it's something that you want, go grab it. If it don't work, try something else. Figure it out, And it seems to me, man, throughout your life, that's what you've done, which is awesome.
You ever see The Pursuit of Happiness? With Will Smith?
I love that movie.
The line I love most in that whole movie, he's talking to his son, and he said, "Don't ever let anybody tell you can't do something."
Yeah, when he's telling him about it, he's telling
even me, and that was don't let anybody even me.
Yeah,
and that's the way you got to be, man. Yeah. Because you know what, you have been given a desire. In my humble opinion, you've been given a desire by God.
Talk to me, because I battle with that a lot. So my grandma was the whole, if it's for you, you'll get it.
Yeah.
And the older I'm getting, I'm like, that's so true, so simple. I use Dr. Dre. We on the West Coast. Dr. Dre got robbed by 2 different people, Eazy-E and Suge Knight. Still wound up getting $1 billion off of headphones. He didn't even see headphones coming. You see what I'm saying? So that makes sense to me. But at the end of the day, like what you said, desire's got to be in you
It's not only got to be in you. It's got to stay in you.
Yeah.
Because it's that thing that wants you to keep pushing that door open, keep kicking that door down, keep pushing against the wall, man, until you got to go through the wall. And that's what some guys, they'll go so far and go, yeah, this is too hard, man. And that's the problem. I hate to sound like an old fogey.
Yeah, no.
But these younger kids, man, they don't have that. I'm going to go, man. And people can't tell me no, especially if it's a desire that helps you and helps people. That's an important part of it, too, man.
Yeah.
You got to give back something.
Right.
You can't just keep getting. And I tell you what you're doing here and trying to connect with maybe some of these kids out there that are wondering what's happening. Look in your head, man. Just keep looking in your head and trusting that desire that's good is what you ought to be doing, man.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. That's deep, man, because I never really looked at it like that. But you gotta be focused on whatever it is you focus on for a reason. Like sometimes, I know with me, like I can't sleep sometimes because I'm just all over the place thinking about how to do this, how to do that, how to do this. So it's gotta be something that's a blessing,
it
a
is.
gift.
It really is. Really is. So because that's the only way God has really of manifesting himself to the world is through you and me. That's the only way that happens.
Wow, yeah.
It's not like a bolt of lightning comes down.
No, he ain't gonna
talk
to you.
It's that divine inspiration and supreme intelligence that's in us. Wow. And we got to keep bringing it out, man. Keep bringing it. And it's been a struggle for me, man. I tell you, because, man, I thought I was going to be the next big thing.
Well, you were.
Well, let me tell you what happened. I got more publicity by doing things that were against the law than most people did by having a press agent. And for whatever reason, and I'm not questioning it, it didn't happen for me in that way. But I learned so much.
Yeah.
And I'll be 67 in September.
Oh wow.
Baby, I got the same drive, the same motivation I had back then.
Yeah, I see you in the gym every day, man. And
I'm trying to hit it.
Nothing's changed,
I'm trying
man.
to
Nothing's
hit it,
changed. Well, but at the end of the day, I tell people all the time, you know how, you sitting around some guys drinking, y'all having conversations about how good, because a dude I used to work with, I never forget, I think his name was Malik. He told me, said the older you get, the better you were.
Yeah.
He told me that.
Yeah.
And as I've gotten older, I'm starting to hear that in conversation. You'll be drinking with somebody, they'll tell you about all this great stuff you've done, I've done, blah, blah, blah. The difference between you and them is you have it documented. You have it on. I can see it.
It's funny you should say that because me and my buddy Fred, we used to just start, and I lived in Chicago and he lived in East Lansing. He was going to Michigan State.
Oh, nice.
And we'd just go back and forth between each other's cities, And then we'd be on campus hanging out and there'd be a bunch of people around. We'd start talking about stuff and they'd look at you like you're crazy. And it's at some point you just can't worry about it, man. You can't worry about what other people think about you.
No.
The only person you got to please is yourself.
Yeah, no doubt.
But you got to do some deep digging to do that right.
Yeah, it's also cool though to be able to pull out your phone. No, look, seriously.
Oh yeah,
that's me jumping off the bridge. That's where I jumped off the limo.
We had the video documentation. Buddy.
Yeah, man. I think somebody said if you a guy was watching lifting, he was said, if you don't got it on tape, you lifted it, then it never happened.
Exactly.
So,
yeah. And then if you don't have any tape, but as you get older, it gets heavier and heavier and heavier.
Word up. Well, I don't want to keep you all night, man. I really appreciate you coming on the podcast.
It's been my pleasure, Chad.
Man,
really
it's been good to get to know you, man, and get to know, this person, this fire. Because like I said, when I see him in the gym, he's so full of energy, so full of life. So just, feels like he didn't leave nothing on the table. And that's the whole purpose of this podcast, man. Just give it all you got, man. Like, you've been watching this Michael Jordan documentary at all?
Yeah.
That man didn't leave. He did leave 2 years on the table, but 1 year on the table, really, because he did do the baseball thing.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so he wanted to do that. He really did. So he didn't leave that on the table. You got to get out here. Maybe not be so awesome at something that you love, just to try it out. Like we were just talking about. He came to my bodybuilding show. If you would have asked him a week before the show who was going to win the show, I would have said me. That's how I felt. That's how I went into it. But I get there and I realize, well, maybe, there's more to it than I know that, I would have to pursue to do that. I said all that to say, but I did it.
The thing about it is, Chad, at the end of your life, we don't have tomorrow promised.
Right.
But at the end of your life, you don't want to be sitting on a porch, rocking in a rocking chair going, I just wish I would have done X, Y, or Z. You don't be doing that,
man.
You don't be doing that.
And that's my fear. And
And
that's what I'm preaching to the audience is, don't do that.
how many times we got in this thing called life? How many shots at it we got?
Just one.
We got one.
Just one.
We got
man.
one. And if that don't wake you up, man, you can't be woken up. No, you're too far asleep.
Yeah.
And then we sit around and we waste time. We do that. And I've been guilty of it too. I'm not criticizing anybody.
I've done it.
But let me tell you something. If you look ahead and you see a dark spot on the horizon, for me, that's a hole in the ground.
Wow.
Because, I mean, I may get lucky. I think I can keep this level of fitness for another 6 or 7 years if I eat well, work out to the level I've been working out, keep my mind right, because that's a lot of it, man.
Yeah, it's all mental.
I mean, when I go back to reunions and stuff, class reunions, it's a good thing we got them little pictures of when we were in high, because I don't know these people.
Well, I was looking at this.
And
Funny
that's
you say that, man. I was looking at you. You look the same.
I
mean, you do. I mean, you.
Hey, I got mirrors in my house, Chad.
Man,
Come on,
you look older, but you look the same.
Well, and a lot of that's mentality, man.
Yeah.
A lot of it's me getting up every day thinking this is going to be the best day of my life.
Wow.
And that ain't easy to do, man. Especially because life will kick your ass.
You said it, man.
It will. It will. And you got to reach back and pull that boot out and move on. That's what you got to do, man.
Yeah, because nobody cares at the end of the day.
Nobody
Except
cares.
you.
Nobody
Because it's your
That's
story.
That's exactly right. And the only people that you can influence is the people that know you enough to know you're real. And that the things that you say and you do, you're walking the walk and not just going around blowing a bunch of smoke. And I know a whole bunch of people like that, man. And you know what? I don't listen to them. I don't listen to them, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, yeah, man. Well, tell them where they can find you at. If they was looking for you, they wanted to holler at you.
I'm not going to, I'm on Instagram, but I don't have much on there.
Yeah.
And it's sky's the limit.
Yeah.
And you can just go to Ron Broyles on Facebook. There's a couple of us, but I think you could tell me from the young kids.
Yeah. Just kind of look for this guy right here.
And we just posted some interesting stuff. All that base jumping and stuff I did. Yeah, that's on there now.
Yeah.
And I'm doing that for my grandchildren.
Yeah.
Facebook to me has turned into like a diary. Because I'm gonna write a book one of these days. Everybody says, Ron, you ought to write a book.
Yeah, you should, man. You got a really good story, man. And we've only scratched the surface.
Let me tell you something. I've done some stuff that, once again, you tell people, they go, I'm gonna wait a minute here. But I've loved every second of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had some ups and downs. I thought I wasn't married till I was 40. Because I said, okay, I'm gonna do it right.
Yeah.
Didn't work out well. But I got 2 beautiful daughters. I got a great stepson.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change anything, man.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change anything. But you got to use every drop of that thing that's in you before they pour the dirt in on you, man. You got to. And you can't. And if you got to get up every day and meditate and get your head right, and go inside and search to bring that stuff out of it, that's what you got to do, man. You got to do it.
Yeah, you said it, man. Because it is all mental. I mean, heck, with this bodybuilding, I know it's mental because some days I can lift all the weight. Some days I can't.
I watch a lot of Ed Milet's podcasts.
Okay, I'm going to have to check him out.
You know who Michael Hearn is?
Yeah.
He was on there the other day.
Yeah, he's a beast.
And that's what he said, because he said, I wasn't no great guy. He just said, I just refused to be beaten. I mean, he was competing at 40 against 20-year-olds and beating them.
Well, yeah, if everything he says is true, he is very disciplined. And discipline
that
is
comes
the
out.
main...
That comes out in the podcast. If you get a chance,
I'm gonna check him out. I'm gonna definitely check him out.
Yeah.
Because
and follow Ed, because he's cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna check him out and follow him. Yeah, definitely, because what Michael Hearn talks about is like to do everything he's done, he's very, very disciplined.
He's almost 50 now.
Yeah,
looks great.
Yeah, he goes back to what you were saying. Like, he doesn't waste any time like with minutia. Like, it's all mentally. Just every decision is calculated.
And now he's doing that in his business.
Yeah,
he did it with his body, and now he's moving on to his business.
Yeah. Oh, that explains. I saw him the other day. It looked like he gained a little weight. I was like, oh, so he changed his focus.
He changed his focus.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Which
he'll be successful.
I'll tell you what, man. The hardest thing for me to get over is at my age comparing myself with that 25 or 30-year-old guy, man. And you can't do it. Forget about it. Put it behind you. But it's tough, man.
Well, you looking at the external, though.
Yeah, but a lot of that was simply discipline,
Yeah.
I mean, if you go up against something that scares you, that's a whole different thing. that doesn't happen when you're looking at a slice of pie to try to keep a few pounds off of it. If you're looking at something that might kill you, that's a whole different mentality you're dealing with, man. A whole different thing. And if you can continue to do that for as long as you can, man, you're going to get there.
Wow.
Because that peels away everything, brother.
Wow.
If you're not afraid to look in that mirror and go, you know what, Ron? You're not scared of anything, are you? And you can say yes to that. Because don't get me wrong, everybody has fear. It's managing the fear.
Yeah.
If somebody tells you they're going to do this, this, and this, and they're not afraid, they're lying to you, man. They're lying to you.
Yeah.
But you get in there in your head and you say, okay, I've done this.
Mm-hmm.
I've trained. I've got the best equipment.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a great team.
Mm-hmm.
All I have to do is execute.
Yeah.
And then you go over that Blue Angel stuff where they close their eyes and they pretend that they're, all that cybernetic stuff, man.
Yeah.
That works, man.
Wow.
All that cybernetic. It's like sitting there in the gym and going, you know what, I can lift this. And every time I lift it and I feel that little thing right there, that muscle's getting bigger, man. And you just keep focusing in on that, cracking that whip.
Wow. Yeah, because you said something there, man. Because if I sit there and I be like, I'm going to get it, it's going up. Ain't no doubt about it. I don't care how much is on the bar.
Yeah.
But some days I'm like, I don't know. As soon as I hit that, it ain't going up.
Yeah.
It's just because I've defeated myself before I even tried.
Well, they proved that cybernetic thing works because they had a bunch of kids in shooting free throws. And they had some guys that didn't do anything. They had some guys that practiced, and then they had some guys that sat down and in their mind mentally went over doing it. And the ones that mentally did it and the ones that practiced were almost exactly the same.
Wow.
Just sitting there thinking about it.
Wow.
So that just tells you how powerful your mind is, man. I mean, we're using what, 10 or 15% of it.
Man. I feel like I'm using less than that
No,
sometimes.
hey, you're doing a great thing, man. This is great. Yeah, you're doing great. You're gonna make it happen too.
Yo, yeah. It's
I might as well get your autograph now, because then
man, yeah, it's always gonna be the same. It's always gonna be the same. But yeah, like I said, I don't want to keep you all night, man. I really appreciate you coming through.
it's my pleasure.
We're gonna definitely have to do it again because there's so much more to uncover. But if you're watching this on YouTube, please go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up, like the video. And if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts, go ahead and leave me 5 stars, leave a comment, let me know what you think about it. Even if you don't like it, leave me 5 stars, leave me thumbs up, and tell me what you think about it in the description, and then we'll work on fixing whatever it is you don't like. Yeah. We don't care to fix it. We just trying to come up the ladder. So on that note, this is the #iAMWHOiAM podcast. This is episode 38. Hey, do you know any player with the number 38? Because I can't think of any in history. I can't think of none. That one's gonna get me.
It's got to be a linebacker.
It's got to be some. Or a safety.
Or safety. Oh, or safety. Yeah.
I see. I can't think of one. 38 would stump me. Usually I get one, but it's all good. 38 is a good number. About thought of one, but I don't think he's 38. I think he's 37. But anyway, on that note, as always, I'll be back. Yeah.